This video can truly change the trajectory of your Amazon business or your life if you actually watch it and put it to use. A lot of you, I feel like, watch these videos and that's pretty much all you do. You just watch these videos. If you start putting these actions, specifically this one I'm going to share with you today, into actual actions and not just thoughts, you are going to see the power of Amazon when you build up a sustainable business. Now, to demonstrate what actually happened here and how quick it can happen, this is my guy, Marcel. Marcel joined my coaching program about a month ago, and here's our direct conversations that we've had. About 7 days ago from me filming this video, November 10th, he writes, "I've been having hiccups, finally able to get products FBA. We pack tomorrow. What do you think? It's too late." I replied to him, "Hey man, what do you mean it's too late? How many total units are you at?" He was referring to the fact of, is it too late to send inventory in? It's November, Q4, things are not going to get checked in. By hiccups, he means getting his hands on the inventory that he was ordering. Suppliers were missing inventory. Nonetheless, he got the inventory in, 299 units. Get that optimized, brother. He heard from everyone else online that it takes 2 to 3 weeks for inventory to check in. So I told him, I'm like, make sure it's optimized. It should be much quicker. Sounds good. Let's go. Thank you. 50% margin too. I think what he's referring to here actually is not margin, but ROI. Again, this is all about 5 days ago for me filming this video right now. Fast forward the next day, 4 packages already got delivered. So this is the 14th. Told me this on the 12th. Let me know when things go available the following day. Things just went available, sold 6 units already. Sales are flying. My guy got proof of concept. And let me be clear here, 300 units of inventory that was approved for his brand new account. And this is what the sales look like. $692. Second day right here, you see $500 of sales. Actually ended up finishing the day at $700. His first official day of making sales. This is when the inventory checked in. This is when he had a crazy day. And just right over here is when he shipped in his first ever shipment ever. Okay, this is how quick you can actually go ahead and purchase inventory, send it in, and start seeing results if you put things into action. And what today's video is dedicated towards is showing you, number one, how we actually got this inventory checked in so incredibly quick. I'm going to give you guys some sauce here. And then also how and what kinds of listings he's actually selling. So by his second day, he's already selling through inventory so incredibly quick, recouping that investment he put into this inventory with profits on top and breaking through what I like to call the 200 sale jail. Okay, this is the most important thing for new sellers. This is what I do with all my students when we first begin. The very first call is to break through the 200 sale jail immediately with his own products that he was able to source with our auto approval sourcing strategies. Now, before I go over product examples, what has no control, and product examples that do have control, so you know exactly what you want to be looking for when you're actually sourcing, let's quickly go over how this inventory was able to get checked in so fast, because it literally took like 5 days from him shipping it to getting checked in. And a lot of people are always scared that inventory is not going to get checked in, and they're forced and they think that they have to FBM. You don't have to. There's alternative. Okay, and essentially what we did was we optimized the shipment. Very simple. All you need to do to optimize the shipping is you need to be shipping in 5 identical boxes. This is an SOP we have for the group in here, but you need 5 identical boxes shipped into Amazon. Okay, so pretty much in simple terms, what this means is if I have 5 different ASINs and I have 20 units of each different ASIN, I need to be putting 4 units in each box. So I have 5 identical boxes, and then I can go ahead and send this to Amazon, and then they'll optimize it for me, and I can opt for that option, which is going to be the optimized option, $0 in placement fees, 5 shipments, inventory gets spread out, and the stuff checks in ridiculously quick. So that's exactly what we did here with his auto approved brands. Lo and behold, yesterday he has a $700 sales day. Now out of the $700 that he sent in, just based on the margins that he's expecting literally 3 days ago. So the point of this also is you source inventory very profitable, and you don't have to wait 2 months for it to check in, and your items actually don't tank in price. You actually make the money that you assumed because you're doing this type of method here. And it's about a 25% margin off of 50% ROI. So he's been able to make about $200 close to in profit his first official day of getting sales. And again, this is now compounding. He's making sales every single day now as inventory sells through, right? This is only 24 units sold, and this is $700 in sales. So if he sent in 300 units here, if we just do some basic math, he's only sold about 10% of his current inventory. So if we take that and multiply it by his current projected profits, he's looking at making probably right around about $1,500 in profit from this first official batch of inventory, because we sourced it very fast, efficiently, shipped it in very fast, efficiently, and now we're selling through inventory because he's dialed in his repricer as well, right? This is all just about efficiency. This is about proper systems in place and sourcing proper inventory. So next up, what I want to show you guys is the types of products that you might be sourcing right now and ones you shouldn't be sourcing, and the products that we actually look into here to give him high margin products and also products that sell very fast. Okay, there's a couple different ways that we do this. Now, let me show you some examples of what you think might look good, but honestly, you don't really have much control over. Okay, so this is a Jellycat listing right here. Popular brand. I'm sure a lot of you newer sellers also look into these types of products. And what we can see here on this listing is we can buy it for about 28 bucks. Okay, and then on Amazon, it's selling for $52.75. So once we break down some numbers, it looks very profitable, and most new sellers would see this and go ahead and pull a trigger on it. You know, I probably would have as well my first year. Now, the only problem with this listing here is that it's not moving the quickest. It sells 50 a month, and the offer count here is starting to climb, right? The only problem when the offer count's climbing, I've made a video on this very in depth before as well, is that now that the offers are climbing, there is now a total of 15 potential sellers that can be stocked to find this item. And since this item is so incredibly profitable, anybody that sees it won't pay much attention to this and they'll buy it. So next thing you know, you buy it, you ship it in and not optimized. The offer count has now quadrupled and you're left with a product that's probably breaking even and just a big waste of time altogether, right? These are the listings that look really good. Like right now, if I were to reverse source 2 years ago and I would have found this, I'd be all over this. And that's also why my margins did not used to be the best, is because I was sourcing inventory just like this, because this is an easy way to source. You reverse source one of these 15 sellers and boom, there's a product for you to go ahead and sell. The problem with that is, here's another example of a listing that looked pretty much the exact same as that Jellycat listing did several months ago. Actually, not even several weeks ago. This listing we're buying for $64, currently selling for $91. So margin just does not look great, terrible. ROI is also very bad. But also, right, if we would have been able to find this listing kind of back here when it looked eerily similar to that Jellycat listing, this would have been, again, very profitable. We're making sales at 115. We're seeing sales at all the way up here at these price points. A great product similar to the Jellycat one, but as you can see here, just literally 2 weeks later, this thing has now absolutely crashed. Okay, and I expect the exact same thing to be happening with this listing right here. You can rewatch this video in several months. You'll probably see this exact same thing play out if you want to see for yourself. And yeah, this is why we don't buy these types of products, right? Because the number one thing behind all of these is these are examples of products that look good, but you don't have any control over, right? The reason you don't have control over it is because this offer count is trending up and we have zero clue when this is going to stop. All I know is when it's going up, it typically continues. The only times I know that I have control over it is when the offers have now started to drop off, because then I can go and look at the listing and say, okay, this is at 15 offers today, but it was at 20 offers last month. So as long as I can look at that chart and say the price didn't fall at 20 offers, today we're at 15, I can pretty much assume that the price won't fall any further because we're at less offers than before. So if it didn't fall before, there's no reason to assume that it's going to fall now. So I have control over it because I have previous data I can use to make that decision right there. Okay, now this might have been a decent product here for a little bit if you're able to get it optimized and shipped in, right? If you're like in stock on this currently, this is something that you can probably make good money with right now. But the problem is most people don't find it right now. They don't find it during these periods here when it's a decent product. They find it today when it's now it's a little bit more risky and a lot of people are going to hit it. And again, they just don't have control over it. Again, this very well could play out in your favor potentially. It's just not very likely. And it's also not a very sustainable way to run your business because you don't really know for sure. You have no control over that potentially happening. So let me show you some listings and ones that we actually typically like to focus on to keep that control in our favor and actually maintain healthy margins without having to worry about price tanking. Okay, I got some examples for you guys. 4 different examples exactly. And we're gonna look at the charts here so you can see exactly what we're looking for. Product number 1, okay, I know it's a Halloween product. It's some autumn mix candy corn. These products we can buy here for about $5. And the biggest thing I want you to see here is if we go ahead and zoom in to the actual products chart here, we can see that the offers are currently trending down. Now, even though this is a autumn type product and it's kind of coming out of autumn, if we can get this optimized and shipped in, we're still gonna be able to make some sales there. And if we look back at past trends, we can actually see this thing consistently moves very well even throughout the year. So even right here in November, all the way through December, even through January, it's still moving over 100 times a month. Now back here is more risky because the offers were still high. You don't have as much control. But today with the offers already coming down and being low right here, we have much more control. So I expect to be able to move this pretty easily at about this $19.19 price. Actually, probably even more because there's one seller here with lower reviews at $19.19. And then we're back to $21 up here, making more money. And honestly, potentially, this could very well continue down by the time we get this checked in. And actually, we have no competitors here to deal with. And we could probably potentially price this even higher and make even more money. This is operate with such high margins because we stay off listings that are competitive or listings that are kind of trending back down towards us. So we can actually capitalize on these at these exact moments, at the perfect times, and not at the times that 99% of other sellers are seeing them. Here's another example of another jelly cap product that's similar, except this one actually looks a lot better than the previous one we just looked at. This product right here, we're buying for $25. And at first glance, you might look at the ROI and say, wow, that's not that good. It's pretty tight right there. But what I do is I look at the actual offers and I see that this seller here has 0 reviews. So they're honestly irrelevant. My goal here is about $47 sale price, which puts at a very, very healthy margin and a healthy ROI. Now, again, if I look a little bit further at this, I can actually see that number one, this is actually selling much quicker today. It makes sense. It's a snowman and we're going into December. But the other thing here is the offer count has now peaked. And now I can go back here and examine this and see how bad did this really get when the offers were high. It seems like the worst it got was about $44. So let's just say it falls again to $44 at the very worst case scenario. Well, we're still making money. This isn't great by any means, but we know that we're not losing money. So we're in our favor, like we're putting this in our favor. And now with the offers going down, I expect this to continue to go back up. And actually we are seeing tons of peaks at about $49, $46.76. So our targets here are actually much higher, potentially upwards of $50. And again, giving us very, very high margin, high ROI products to make more money with the money that we invest into inventory. And of course, we use a repricer, we use Aura. There's a lot of other options, but you need a repricer to go out there and be able to do this for you, because I'm not here sitting here trying to manage all my pricing. No, Aura does all that for me. And that's why we're able to make so much money with these tools. 2 more examples for you guys. These are gonna look a little bit different than the other ones. Actually, the last one will, but this one here, again, is just a more long-term decrease in offers, but this is a great example of what you can look at as your worst case scenario event. It's very clear this product hovers at about $23-ish, $24. So I can use that as my worst case scenario, about $24, which is still about a break even. Now, looking at this product today with today's numbers, I actually noticed there's only one seller here. It's not a large seller at 26, and then we're right back up to 29.30. So again, targets here are much higher, which again, as I mentioned before, is giving us these high margin products, high ROI, because we're sourcing them at the perfect times. This is the types of methods that we do. We're not sourcing, reverse sourcing, just trying to find very highly saturated products, because again, those can work and they'll make you some money, but chances are it's not going to give you good margin. It's not going to make you a lot of money. So that is why we don't source those products. Okay. And I want to give you one last example that's different than these 3 right here. Okay. This right here is, I don't know what I like to call it. It's I guess it's a low-key untapped product. Call it whatever you want. But what it is a product that has just low offers consistently. Low offers up and down consistently, selling at a very nice profitable price. This product right here, we can buy for about $4.49, currently selling for $16.99. Very, very profitable again. But the biggest thing here is there's such few sellers on here that for this product to get saturated and actually tank in price, it's going to take a very long time, because the chances of you finding this product doing reverse sourcing, and not just you, but 99% of sellers that all use reverse sourcing, the chances of them finding it are extremely slim, because they need to stock one of these 3 sellers in here in order to find this. And if they don't, then they're never going to find it. And if no one finds it, then no one else is going to find it, right? Because the way these offer counts and reverse sourcing and sourcing goes for most people that do Amazon, especially beginners, people that don't watch my videos, is they're buying inventory as the offers come up. So now there's 3 sellers. Let's just say next week there's 7. Well, the following week it's going to explode all the way up to 20, because the more people are on there, the more people can be found off of this product, which is exactly what I think is going to happen with this jelly cap product. It's getting more and more traction to it, and it's going to start to exponentially go right back up. So again, these listings here with low comp, you're not having to deal with that, because there's not a lot of people to be stocked to find these items, and it's very, very, very stable, selling at a nice price. And to add on this listing right here, this is similar. This is the one we looked at before. It's a very similar one kind of to the Cadbury one we looked at. You can see right here, there's a period in time where there's several months from July through September where no one really knows about this listing. And these couple sellers in here are making bank. They're all making a ton of money in this listing, selling for $36. Just imagine how much money they're making here consistently for several months before inevitably it did eventually catch on. But none of these sellers lost money, because they're all on here very early. So maybe what they should have done, which what I would have done, was realize the offers are coming up, realize I'm still making money around these price points, right? Even at $24.99, we're still making decent money. It's not great. It wouldn't be something I'd carry. So I would stop carrying around this moment. I would set my tracker to be alerted for when the offers come down and the price goes up, and I'd be able to buy it again during these periods here, sell it pretty consistently for several months again of the year, notice that the offers are spiking and what it's going to happen. Well, obviously the price is going to fall, set my alerts again, and go through periods of this product, dominating it during different parts, right? This is, in a sense, the sustainable model when it's fully up and running. It's buying these products at the perfect times, which allows us to always have listings to buy because we actually monitor listings, but also make a ton of money because these listings are all low in comp and they're also all extremely profitable with high margins because that's when we're selling them. Not everyone is as hardworking, dedicated as Marcel is over here, okay? He didn't just go out there and it wasn't just handed things. He went out there, we sourced, we did the method. He went out there and implemented it for the several days after that, found his products, and now he's building out his store sustainably with efficient systems, not guessing what's selling and not really knowing what to do and playing with seller and reverse sourcing for 2 years until he finally figures it out. No, we went in there effectively and scaled this up. He worked extremely hard to be able to learn it and actually implement it for his own business. If you'd also like some personal one-to-one help, my coaching is all one-to-one. We literally sat down, sourced together. If you'd like some help with that as well, you want our sourcing methods, everything we do, there's a Calendly link down below this video. Feel free to book in a call. Can run you through what my coaching looks like, if it's a good fit. The only really thing that I ask for is you have realistic expectations, you have the time to this, and obviously you have some capital available for inventory, as that's the most important thing. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below this video, or you can shoot me over a DM over on my Instagram. And you guys know I make these videos every single week. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I think that this one right here, you'd enjoy just as much, as it'll go over ways to actually go ahead and find some auto-approved brands if you have zero sales.